Hey guys, this is Ashby at Ashby Farms, and today I'm going to show you how I prep my no-till beds for gardening season 2021. I'm Ashby, and this is Ashby Farms. Located in Burlington, North Carolina, it's now our 5th season, and we are supported by friends, family, and the best community around. Alright guys, so today I'm going to show you the 3 steps that I take with a no-till garden in order to get them ready. And tomorrow, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be out here planting those 3 days, putting in somewhere between 1,000 and 1,100 tomatoes. Over the winter, these tarps that you see bunched up here in the background have been out here all winter, and all the organic matter has been decaying. And so now, upon pulling them back, we have millions of earthworms. The ground out here is very, very squishy. When we pull back the tarps, it looks like cottage cheese. And that's one of the big benefits of no-till. With no-till, I didn't invert the layers of the soil. All I did was allow the earthworms to do all the tilling for me. Again, I let nature work for me, not me work for nature, because I don't have the time. So in the meanwhile, I left all my weed matting rows down. As you can see right here, there's about 6 inches in between the 2 rows of weed matting with a drip line. So on one side of the drip line is going to be the T-posts, on the other side will be the plants. So today's goal after pulling back the tarp is going to be prepping the ground in preparation for tomorrow, which will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in order to plant out somewhere between 1,000, maybe 1,100 tomato plants. There's a total of 70 rows. They're about 80 feet long. Last year I planted tomatoes about 18 inches apart. This year I'm going to go somewhere between 12 and 14 inches just for a little bit tighter spacing. So a couple of things that I like to do at this point, there's no need to go till. There's a lot of organic matter. A lot of this is weeds left over that are currently breaking down, or hay from last season which is currently breaking down. All that is just going to feed the earthworms in early spring, as well as hold in place a lot of the hay that I'm getting ready to put out and pack around all these tomato plants. So I've got a 2-gallon sprayer. Things that I like to do right away, it's pure neem oil. It's 100% cold pressed. It's made by Plantonics. I get it on Amazon and it is expensive. It's about $65 a quart, but that stuff is awesome. Neem oil has a lot of benefits to the soil, and because I plant in the same spots year after year and I don't do any crop rotation, this is going to go ahead and counteract some of the negative bugs that are soil borne and soil bound. In 2018, there was a study that came out about neem oil. What they found out is every year that neem oil is applied, it residually builds up in the soil. So this will be my 5th season using it. And basically it disrupts the pupa and larval stages of many of the bad bugs that you find in the garden. So along with the neem oil, then the other thing I like to add into the same mixture is Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar. And I like to get heavy on the dose. I mean, for 2 gallons of water that's in the spray tank here, you add in 8 ounces of the neem oil, and that stuff is really stinky. Don't get it on your hands, it'll stick around a couple days. And I add in about 4 ounces of apple cider vinegar. The vinegar will go ahead and just raise the pH in the soil just a hair, but it's all the organic microbes in it that are just going to help. Tomorrow we're going to get a little bit of rain, and then Saturday a little bit of rain as well. All that's going to help wash this neem oil as well as apple cider vinegar into the soil. One thing to note about the neem oil is when it gets below 70 degrees, it hardens, it solidifies. So I actually take this spray tank into the house and I put very, very hot water into it, along with about a teaspoon of Dawn dish soap, and that helps emulsify that neem oil into the water column. Then I add in my apple cider vinegar. Come out here, I'll spray all that on every single row. That's step 1. Step 2, once the ground's a little wet, is come back with azomite, which is volcanic ash. It has 70 trace minerals in it. And with tomatoes, you have to remember, when a tomato calls for a certain, whether a micronutrient or macronutrient, it has to be there, be available to the plant in an organic form that the plant can take up. So whether that's calcium or nitrogen or molybdenum or even arsenic is something that plants use. Very trace minerals, but I like to do the azomite every single year. It's just one of those, it covers all my bases because I farm as organic as I can. It doesn't mean I'm an organic farmer, but anything that I can do early season that has, I mean, right now it's April 22nd, 23rd, something like that. So we've got 2 months for that product to go ahead and break down and become available to the plant. Once I've got the neem oil and apple cider vinegar sprayed, I do the azomite on top. The next thing to do, if you look over here in the back of my truck, is straight leaf compost. I use a company called Mebane Shrubbery. They're out of Mebane, North Carolina. It's really reasonable. It's $25 a scoop for a yard, and it's straight leaf compost that they get from the city of Greensboro. They compost it all winter. When I tell you they've got mounds of it, they've got mounds like 30 feet tall. When they scoop it, it is right at 140 degrees. I checked it earlier with my thermometer. And so anyways, anything that is going to be soil borne, it's going to be a problem for me. Any weeds that need to germinate, all that stuff's already dead. And this again is the 5th year using compost as well. So I'll come along on this little 6-inch strip between the 2 rows of weed matting, and I'll just add in maybe an inch of compost. Doesn't have to be a lot. The next step will be drilling, which I've got a bulb auger that goes on my drill bit, and I'll drill out the holes tomorrow. We'll drop the tomato seedlings in real deep as we can get them, approximately 8 to 12 inches depending on the size of the tomato, and that way they get a nice deep root base. And then at that point, when we mix, or when I fill in around the plant in that hole, because it ends up being about a 2-inch hole, when I end up filling in, then a lot of that compost kind of goes down the soil and it mixes. And again, with all this great soil out here, there's no need to buy the 50-50 mix, which is 50% compost and 50% fill dirt. I just get straight leaf compost. It doesn't burn the plants. There's plenty of nitrogen there available for the seedlings, especially early in the season when nitrogen's needed. So anyways, just to give you a bird's eye view of the farm, this is what it looks like. This is Ashby Farms early in the spring, prepping for our no-till method of growing tomatoes. If you've liked this content today, please subscribe, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it personally, helping to grow my channel. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. Have a great day, stay tuned, and I'll keep you informed as we plant more.